The rain was merciless that night. It poured onto the cold city streets, soaking every passerby, drumming against the roofs of taxis, and turning sidewalks into shallow rivers. Daniel Hayes, a man known in every boardroom as the relentless single-dad CEO of Hayes Enterprises, sat in the back of his sleek black SUV, staring at his phone. He had just finished another endless day at work. Investors, deadlines, expansion deals. To the world, he was a symbol of success. But to his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, he was just Daddy. And tonight, Daddy was late again. She was home with the nanny, probably curled up with her favorite stuffed rabbit, waiting for his good-night call. Daniel sighed and leaned back. That's when his eyes caught something unusual through the rain-smeared window. On the corner, half hidden under the awning of a closed diner, sat a woman. Her clothes were thin, her hair plastered wet to her forehead, and her arms were wrapped tightly around herself for warmth. A plastic bag with what looked like all her belongings sat beside her. She wasn't begging, wasn't holding a sign. She was just a broken bar sitting there, shivering, as if life had already taken everything from her. "Stop the car," Daniel said suddenly. His driver hesitated. "Sir, this isn't a good area." I said stop. The car pulled over, and Daniel stepped out into the rain. The chill bit into his tailored suit, but he ignored it. He approached her slowly. "Miss," he said gently. Her head snapped up, startled. Up close, Daniel saw that she couldn't have been older than 30. Her eyes were red and tired, but they carried a certain dignity, as if she was refusing to let her spirit break completely. "I'm fine," she muttered, hugging herself tighter. "Please, just a broken bar." "Keep walking." But Daniel crouched down to meet her eyes. "You don't look fine. Do you need help?" The woman swallowed hard. "No one's coming to help me, not anymore." Something inside Daniel shifted. He thought of Lily, safe in her warm bed. He thought of his late wife, gone after a long battle with illness, and the countless nights he had prayed for anyone to help him when he was drowning in grief. He had survived only because strangers had shown him kindness. "My name's Daniel," he said softly. "Come home with me." Her eyes widened. "What?" "I'm not a broken bar." "I'm not who you think," he added quickly, realizing how it might sound. "I'm not looking for anything. I just look. It's pouring rain. You'll freeze out here. I have a spare room, a hot meal." "Please, just for tonight." The woman studied him carefully, searching for any trace of threat. But his eyes, a broken bar, they weren't cold like so many others she had met. They carried something she hadn't seen in a long time. Sincerity. Finally, she whispered, "My name is Claire. Claire Matthews." "Nice to meet you, Claire." "Come on." A stranger at the table. That night, Claire sat nervously at the Hayes dining table, staring at a steaming plate of pasta. Her hand shook as she picked up the fork. Daniel noticed, but he didn't push. Lily peeked from the hallway, wide-eyed. "Daddy, a broken bar. Who's that?" Daniel smiled softly. "This is Claire. She's our guest tonight." "Be polite, sweetheart." Claire gave Lily a small, awkward smile. "Hi." Something about the little girl's innocent curiosity made Claire's throat tighten. It had been months since she had spoken to a child, months since she had been treated like a human being at all. Later, when Lily was asleep, Daniel finally asked, "If you don't mind me asking, a broken bar, how did you end up at?" Claire set down her fork. Her jaw tightened, but then she exhaled. "I was a nurse. 12-hour shifts, sometimes 16. I loved it, but in a broken bar." Her eyes grew glassy. "My mom got sick. Cancer. I took time off to care for her. Bills piled up. Savings ran out. After she passed, I couldn't catch up. Lost the apartment. Lost everything." Daniel's chest ached. A nurse, a caregiver, someone who had given so much, only to be abandoned when she needed help. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. She shrugged. "Life happens." But in her voice, he heard something else. Exhaustion, a broken bar, and a quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, this man meant what he said. The weeks that followed, what was supposed to be just one night, turned into a week, then two. Daniel offered her small tasks around the house, helping Lily with homework, organizing things. Claire resisted at first, but slowly, she began to smile again. For Lily, Claire became more than just a guest. She became the bedtime storyteller, the one who braided her hair in the mornings, the gentle presence she had missed since her mother passed. One evening, Daniel overheard Lily whisper, "Claire, are you going to stay with us forever?" Claire's heart twisted. "Yeah, broken bar, I don't know, honey." But Daniel, listening from the doorway, realized something. His daughter had already found a place for Claire in their lives. And maybe, so had he. The twist. One morning, Daniel arrived at his office only to find chaos. His board of directors had discovered a homeless woman staying in his house, rumors spreading like wildfire. "Daniel, this is reckless." One executive barked, "What if she's after your money, your reputation? Think about your daughter." Daniel clenched his jaw. "You think compassion is weakness? That helping someone makes me less of a leader? Maybe that's the problem with this company." He walked out before anyone could stop him. That night, he told Claire what had happened. She looked horrified. "Daniel, I can't let you risk everything for me. I should leave." "No," he said firmly, "you don't understand. Having you here, broken bar, it's reminded me of what actually matters. Not deals, not profits. People." "Lily." Tears welled in Claire's eyes. "Why would you care so much about someone like me?" Daniel reached for her hand. "Because once, when I was drowning, someone cared about me, and it saved my life." The climax. The following week, Lily collapsed at school. Panic tore through Daniel's chest as he rushed to the hospital. Doctors flooded the room, but it was Claire, calm, capable, the nurse she had once been, who took charge. "Check her vitals again." "No, that's not dehydration. Look at the chart," she barked, her old authority returning. Doctors listened. They caught a dangerous infection early, one that could have turned fatal. Because of Claire, Lily survived. When Daniel saw Lily sleeping peacefully afterward, he turned to Claire, voice breaking, "You saved her. You saved my little girl." Claire shook her head. "No, a broken bar, she saved me." "You both did." The ending. Weeks later, Daniel invited the board of directors to a meeting. Claire stood beside him, dressed neatly, head high. "This," Daniel said proudly, "is Claire Matthews, a nurse, a fighter, and the reason my daughter is alive today. She's not just staying in my house, she's staying in my life. If anyone has a problem with that broken bar, there's the door." No one moved. Daniel looked at Claire, and for the first time, she didn't look lost. She looked home. Epilogue. Months later, in the Hayes household, laughter filled the rooms. Lily raced down the hallway, Claire chasing her with a pillow. Daniel watching with a smile that felt more real than anything in years. What had started as a single act of kindness, "Come home with me," had blossomed into something none of them expected. A family. Because sometimes, the smallest choice to care can change lives forever. And this time, it saved them all.